What if I told you that the star ingredient in, like, the most sugary, calorie-dense holiday dessert on your table is actually a misunderstood superfood?
Oh, I mean, people are going to have a hard time believing that one.
Right. But you know that feeling when that first real autumn breeze rolls in?
Hmm.
Like the one that finally breaks the summer heat and makes you want to pull a heavy sweater out of the back of the closet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Best time of the year.
Yeah, and our brains just immediately start queuing up this very specific, cozy imagery. We start thinking about the smell of cinnamon, sitting around a crowded dining table, holiday baking, all of that.
Which is such a powerful association.
Exactly. And right in the center of all that nostalgia, usually encased in this massive, heavy, just intensely sugary pie crust, is the pecan.
Not the pecan,
It
yes.
has that rich, buttery crunch
Yeah.
that has basically become the official texture of the holiday season.
It really has. And I mean, we have this deep, almost emotional connection to that specific flavor profile, which is entirely tied up in our concept of indulgence.
Right, it feels like a cheat day food.
Exactly. We see a pecan, and we are just culturally conditioned to think of celebration, of excess, of things we're really only supposed to enjoy in strict moderation once or twice a year.
Yeah, like, don't need too many of those.
Right. But the research we are diving into today completely dismantles that conditioning. I mean, we are taking the pecan out of the pie crust and really looking at the clinical mechanics of what this nut actually provides.
Okay, let's unpack this because there is this massive contrast between how you, listening right now, likely perceive pecans
Hmm.
and what the clinical data actually says.
It's a huge contrast.
I mean, we essentially treat this thing like candy. We bury it under a mountain of brown sugar and corn syrup, but the nutritional science points to it being a functional tool for your overall wellness.
Yeah, specifically regarding healthy fats, antioxidants, and cardiovascular health, which is wild when you think about its reputation.
It is wild. So let's start with that buttery texture, because that's what makes it so good.
Right. Well, the defining characteristic we all love about the pecan is that incredibly rich, buttery texture. But culturally, when we hear the word buttery in the context of food, our nutritional alarm bells start ringing.
Oh, for sure. You hear buttery, and you just think, well, there goes my diet.
Exactly. We immediately associate that mouthfeel with saturated fats and dietary danger, but the lipid profile of the pecan tells a completely different story.
Wait, really? Because it tastes so rich.
I know, but that butteriness isn't a nutritional negative at all. It is literally the mechanism delivering the health benefits.
Okay, wait, I have to push back on that a little bit.
Go for it.
If a pecan is incredibly high in fat, and I think the numbers in our source material show it's mostly fat by weight, how do we justify making that a daily staple?
It's a fair question.
Because haven't we spent the last few decades learning that eating high-fat foods is just like a direct ticket to arterial plaque?
We have. We really spent decades looking at fat as a monolith, which modern clinical data completely disproves.
Ah, right, the whole all fat is bad myth.
Exactly. The richness of the pecan does come directly from its fat content, yes, but it is exceptionally rich in monounsaturated fatty acids.
Okay, monounsaturated.
Yeah, and to put that into biochemical context, these are the exact same lipid structures you find in universally revered health foods.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like olive oil. When cardiologists praise olive oil, or, when nutritionists recommend avocados, they are primarily targeting that monounsaturated fat content.
No way. So it's the exact same stuff.
The identical high-quality beneficial fat, the pecan is just delivering it in a different biological package.
So what does this all mean? Because we treat olive oil and avocados like absolute nutritional royalty.
We really do.
I mean, people are pouring premium extra virgin olive oil on everything, paying a premium for avocado toast at brunch. We build entire lifestyle diets around these ingredients.
Mediterranean diet, keto, you name it.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we've been completely ignoring pecans, just leaving them sitting in the baking aisle just because they happen to taste really good in a dessert.
It's a tragic miscategorization, honestly.
It's like the pecan is basically an avocado in a crunchy disguise.
Haha. That is a perfect way to look at it. An avocado in a crunchy disguise.
And frankly, a disguise that tastes a lot better mixed into your morning oatmeal. Have we just been punishing this food because it's too delicious?
I think we have. I really do. We have this psychological bias against foods that feel too decadent. Like, if it tastes this good, it must be bad for me.
Totally. The guilt factor.
Right. But validating this parallel, recognizing that the monounsaturated fats in a pecan are biochemically operating just like the fats in olive oil, It requires a total paradigm shift in how we categorize it.
It really changes how you look at a handful of nuts.
It does. It elevates the pecan from a sometimes treat to a foundational element of daily nutrition. Because when you consume these specific monounsaturated fatty acids, you aren't just taking in empty calories.
Actually doing some good. Yeah.
Exactly. You are giving your body a highly specialized type of fuel that it uses to maintain cellular integrity and support the cardiovascular system.
Okay, let's follow that fuel then. Now that we know what kind of fat is actually inside this crunchy little disguise, let's look at how that specific fat operates once it enters the human body.
This is where the science gets really cool.
Because the research points heavily toward how these lipids interact with our cholesterol levels, right?
Yes. The clinical studies are fascinating when you look at the mechanics of this interaction. Incorporating pecans into a balanced diet allows those monounsaturated fats to go to work specifically on maintaining healthy cholesterol levels.
Okay, but how exactly? Because cholesterol is always so confusing.
They do this by supporting your high-density lipoproteins, the HDL, while simultaneously helping to manage and control your low-density lipoproteins, the LDL.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's that dual action nature.
Yeah, it's not just a one-way street.
Because a lot of times when we hear about heart health, the advice is just this blanket statement of you need to lower your cholesterol.
Which is a huge oversimplification.
Right, because cholesterol isn't just one monolithic bad guy. If the pecan is actively supporting the HDL, which kind of acts like the garbage trucks pulling cholesterol away from the arteries,
Love that imagery.
while also managing the LDL, which is the stuff that actually causes the buildup, isn't this more like the pecan is acting as a sort of traffic controller for the cardiovascular system?
A traffic controller, yes, absolutely.
Like it's actively directing the good vehicles where to go to clear the roads, while stopping the bad vehicles from causing a dangerous pileup.
That traffic controller analogy perfectly captures the dynamic lipid management happening in the bloodstream. I mean, it's an active regulatory system rather than a blunt instrument just trying to eliminate all cholesterol.
Right, smart.
It's very smart. But the clinical mechanics go much deeper than just lipid flow, because the research notes that pecans are also heavily packed with plant sterols and vitamin E.
Okay, I understand vitamin E, but plant sterols always sound like something you read on the back of a hyper-engineered nutritional shake.
Like a weird supplement ingredient.
Yeah. What exactly is a plant sterol doing inside the body?
So plant sterols are actually naturally occurring compounds. You find them in plant cell membranes. And what makes them so critical for human health is a process called molecular mimicry.
Molecular mimicry. That sounds like sci-fi.
It really does. But basically, their cellular structure looks incredibly similar to human cholesterol.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So when you eat a handful of pecans, those plant sterols travel into your digestive tract. And because they look so much like cholesterol, your body actually gets confused.
It tricks the body.
Exactly. The sterols compete with the actual dietary cholesterol for absorption in your intestines. They take up the parking spaces, so to speak.
I see.
Which means the real cholesterol can't get absorbed into your bloodstream. It has nowhere to park, so it's simply flushed out of your system.
That is wild. It's
Yeah.
essentially running a biological interference play in the gut,
A perfect way to describe it.
just completely blocking it before the cholesterol even has a chance to hit the bloodstream and become a problem.
Right. And while the plant sterols are running that interference, the vitamin E is doing a completely different job.
The second half of the defense team.
Exactly. Vitamin E acts as a powerful antioxidant, and its primary role is combating oxidative stress.
Okay, oxidative stress. That's basically cellular rust, right?
Cellular rust, yes.
Like the unavoidable wear and tear that happens to our cells over time just from processing oxygen, living, breathing, encountering environmental toxins, all that stuff.
Spot on. That rust is caused by free radicals, which are these unstable molecules that are missing an electron.
And they're the bad guys here.
Yeah, they travel through your body stealing electrons from healthy cells, which damages the cell walls, particularly in your blood vessels.
Oh, wow.
And this damage leads directly to inflammation. But vitamin E steps in and freely donates an electron to those free radicals.
It just gives them what they want.
Exactly, neutralizing them before they can damage your tissue. So, returning to your traffic analogy,
Yeah, the traffic controller.
if the monounsaturated fats are the traffic controllers managing the HDL and LDL vehicles, the plant sterols and vitamin E are the structural repair crews.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right. They're out there fixing the asphalt, preventing the potholes of oxidative stress, and keeping the structural integrity of the roads safe from inflammation.
A dual-action traffic controller and a full-time road maintenance crew,
Yeah.
all contained in something you can just toss in a salad.
Pretty incredible for a simple nut.
It really is. But understanding these intense cellular defense mechanisms raises a huge practical question for me.
Okay, what's that?
Application. How do you actually get this traffic controller and maintenance crew into your system without resorting to the sugary baked goods?
Right, the pie crust problem.
Yeah. Because obviously, if you just eat a slice of pecan pie, the massive influx of refined sugar, corn syrup, heavy butter, that's going to trigger an inflammatory response that completely overwhelms the plant sterols and monounsaturated fats, right?
Oh, absolutely. The vehicle for delivery dictates the biochemical response.
Right.
If you want the cardiovascular benefits, you have to separate the pecan from the refined sugar.
Got to ditch the pie.
Exactly. And the clinical data strongly points to raw or dry roasted pecans as the ideal format. Consuming them in this natural state turns them into an incredibly effective midday snack.
A midday snack.
Yeah, and this goes beyond just avoiding the negative effects of sugar. It taps into what the raw pecan brings to the table for satiety.
Satiety, like keeping you full.
Yes, because they contain a highly specific matrix of protein and fiber, they have a profound effect on the hormones that regulate your hunger levels.
Okay, I want to focus on that 2 p.m. feeling for a second because everyone listening knows that exact mid-afternoon crash.
Oh, the 2 p.m. wall. It's brutal.
It is. You hit a wall, you reach for something sweet, maybe a leftover holiday cookie in the break room, or one of those energy bars that's really just a candy bar in disguise.
Which is the worst thing you can do.
Right, because you get that instant spike in your blood sugar, you feel great for about 30 minutes, and then your insulin overcompensates, your blood sugar plummets, you are exhausted, and you're starving all over again.
Exactly. That spike and crash cycle is driven entirely by simple carbohydrates rapidly entering the bloodstream.
So how does the pecan fix that?
Well, the raw pecan disrupts that cycle completely. The dietary fiber in it physically changes how your body digests the food. It slows down gastric emptying.
So it literally sits in your stomach longer.
Essentially, yes, creating a steady, metered release of nutrients. Combined with the protein and those rich monounsaturated fats, it creates a time-release energy system.
A time-release energy system. So instead of a massive spike and a subsequent crash, you get this long, smooth glide path of energy that carries you all the way to dinner.
A smooth glide path, that's exactly right.
And looking at the culinary swaps suggested in the research, achieving this doesn't require any sort of complex meal prep. We're talking about incredibly simple, actionable upgrades.
Yeah, because culinary integration needs to be straightforward, or people simply won't stick with it.
Right. Nobody wants to spend an hour prepping a snack.
Exactly. The dietary notes suggest practical applications that literally take seconds. Tossing chopped, dry-roasted pecans over your morning oatmeal.
Easy.
Stirring them into plain yogurt to add that essential crunch without adding sugary granola. Or, leaning into a more savory flavor profile.
Like what?
Like folding them into a crisp autumn apple and spinach salad. They even highlight incorporating them into homemade seed and nut energy bites for a dense, portable energy source.
Oh, visualize that crisp autumn apple and spinach salad for a second.
It sounds so good.
Right. You have the fresh, watery snap of the apple, the slight bitterness of the earthy greens, and then you add that rich, buttery crunch of the dry roasted pecan right on top.
Perfect balance of textures.
It immediately elevates the entire meal. It feels indulgent, it tastes like a premium ingredient, but you are literally deploying antioxidants and managing your lipid profile with every single bite.
And the psychology of habit building here is perhaps the most important takeaway.
How so?
Well, when most people attempt to improve their cardiovascular health or their diet, they focus entirely on restriction.
Right, taking things away.
Exactly. They look at a list of things they love and cross them off. But utilizing pecans in these specific ways bridges the massive gap between culinary enjoyment and long-term wellness.
You don't have to suffer to be healthy.
Precisely. You are taking an ingredient that your brain already codes as delicious and indulgent, and you are repurposing it for sustained midday energy and cellular repair.
That's a powerful shift.
When a health intervention tastes this good and physically prevents that afternoon energy crash, It ceases to be a chore. It becomes a deeply ingrained habit that you actually look forward to repeating daily.
Finding those micro habits that deliver macro results is like the holy grail of nutrition.
It really is.
And the core actionable advice from the research today is beautifully simple, and it leans right into that psychology. Just keep a small jar of raw or dry roasted pecans on hand this week.
Just right there where you can see it.
Yep, put it on your desk at work, or leave it right on the center of the kitchen counter. Make it highly visible.
Visibility is key.
Right, because by doing that, you bypass the decision-making process. You can easily access these heart-healthy benefits with a quick handful, without having to think about it or prep a meal.
It's a minor environmental tweak that yields significant long-term nutritional dividends. By substituting a handful of raw pecans for a highly processed snack, you are actively giving your cardiovascular system the exact fuel and defense mechanisms it needs to operate efficiently.
Let's do a quick recap of this journey, because the contrast is pretty staggering.
It really is a 180-degree shift.
He started with a sensory memory of a buttery holiday staple, something we universally thought was just a guilty pleasure hiding in a heavy pie crust.
The ultimate cheat food.
Right. And we unpacked the science to reveal a cholesterol-managing, antioxidant-rich powerhouse.
Yes, we did.
We learned that the rich texture we love actually comes from the exact same monounsaturated fats that made olive oil and avocados famous.
The avocado in a crunchy disguise.
Exactly. We saw how this nut acts as a traffic controller for your lipids, boosting the HDL garbage trucks and managing the LDL traffic, while the plant sterols use molecular mimicry to block cholesterol absorption in the gut.
Taking up those parking spaces.
And we saw how vitamin E acts as the road repair crew, donating electrons to neutralize free radicals and armoring your cells against oxidative stress.
Fixing the cellular rust.
And finally, we looked at how the matrix of protein and fiber physically slows digestion to rescue your afternoon from that dreaded sugar crash.
You know, synthesizing all of this raises a fascinating question about global dietary trends.
Ooh, okay. Where are you going with this?
Well, the research explicitly links the biochemical profile of the pecan's monounsaturated fats directly to olive oil and avocados, right? Those two specific ingredients form the undisputed foundation of the Mediterranean diet, which cardiologists around the world consistently rank as the absolute gold standard for cardiovascular longevity.
Right, the medical community is constantly telling us to eat as if we live on the coast of the Mediterranean.
Exactly. But the pecan is a distinctly North American nut.
Oh, wait.
It is native to this continent. It grows locally right here. This forces us to ask, could integrating the pecan into our daily routines be the missing puzzle piece to creating a localized, equally powerful, heart-healthy diet right in our own backyards?
Wow.
I mean, we have this tendency to look across the ocean for the secrets to longevity. We import expensive oils, we ship exotic fruits thousands of miles, while completely ignoring the nutritional powerhouses that are literally growing in native soil just outside our doors.
A localized North American Mediterranean diet built around the pecan.
It's totally possible.
That is such a provocative thought to leave on. It really makes you wonder, as we head into the autumn and winter months, how many other seasonal ingredients, how many other traditional holiday treats are sitting right in front of us, completely misunderstood.
Just waiting for us to realize the science behind them.
Exactly. So the next time that crisp autumn breeze hits and you start smelling the holiday baking, I want you to look past the sugar. Look past the heavy pie crust and appreciate the complex, buttery little miracle that is the pecan. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you on the next one.